another bunch of great Contenders career teams coming through to, really buff them up for Season 3, if they even make it from that stage. But that's probably getting a little bit far ahead. Let's talk about Volskaya here. So we're going for map 3. This is New Paradigm's chance to take the series and Mega's chance to keep in it. They're going for a double sniper comp, but this time they're actually going for the Hog on defense. So we saw them already pull this off with the single healer, but it's a little bit harder for Mercy to hide on Volskaya first than it is on King's Row.
We'll see if Froppy can do that, and as you sort of pointed out, the stakes for this match is set. The good news for Mega is they have time to rewrite their future. The future is not set. They can change their fate, and they'll change their composition as quickly as they like to change that fate, because right now it's going to be the GOATs. They've spotted out the New Paradigm are going to run a solo healer, and guess what? Mega's got 3 healers. If you get into a straight-up brawl here, Mega's going to out-sustain you more than likely.
Yeah, if the Brigida can find a stun onto that Mercy and take her down, I think we'll see New Paradigm fold like a stack of cards. But as it is, they've used the Defense Matrix and the Reinhardt Shield well here. They've found their way into, and we got D.Va going all the way onto the back, onto the Widow. But there we go. Froppy has to heal her, and all of a sudden it just opens up other avenues.
Well, Pichu's down already, but that trade does come through from Apudo. So currently, you'd say that if damage is in the books, Mega have much more healing to sustain that damage. New Paradigm, not so much. Froppy's lows off. Froppy goes down. It's bad news. He does go down to NZN now, and suddenly Mega have the opportunity cut out for them. If they don't win this fight, that would be a massive disappointment. Dragon Strike going to come through now from Eind, picking up nobody for the time being, at least. Pretty even trades, and you got to say, where's Mega? Because they have to regroup. Mega have the spawn advantage, but they've had to back off.
That's a great question, AVRL. Where is Mega? They get the only healer down, and they are not seeming to press the advantage. We did see NZNR on the off-tank gear, interestingly, for him, get the snipe onto the Widowmaker, and now they're coming in. Froppy's back in time, though, and a well-placed self-destruct. Let's see how that goes.
Well, a better placed Bionade coming through as well on top of New Paradigm from Pichu. It's going to allow Rocket to at least get the kill onto Frost, but Mushroom now receiving the nano boost from Pichu, looking for a little bit more. The bad news is no energy charge to support him. A big fat 0 in the middle of his screen is not going to help him get this ult charge, and he's going to need it. New Paradigm going to be quite happy to pick up kills while Mega flounder away their lead.
Mega, they had position on the point. I mean, every time Froppy goes down, that's when they really need to put their pedal to the metal, and they just couldn't do it this time. Now they're backed all the way off. They're going to have to deal with Ein's Dragon Strike here. He's going to be able to zone them out very effectively, and we've seen how quickly this composition coming out from New Paradigm can put down the damage immensely fast. So once they split them, just expect them to just roll onto Mega and absolutely crush them.
Well, Mushroom's found himself some energy to work with right now, but where is the grab? Looking to dodge out of, he went down, that really hurts him. The other members are starting to collect some kills, but they are even trades so far in Paradigm.
He's gone.
Still have members alive. Mega now trying their hardest. Saputo is trying his hardest to try and continue to attack this point. New Paradigm don't seem to be too faulted so far. There's still one member alive here. We could still see Teto attempt to continue to defend.
Teto breakdancing on the point just to try and push Apudo off with such small percentage left here, and they do finally manage to cap it out. So the second time they get Froppy down, they don't waste the opportunity. They push through onto point B now, and they're going to have an Earth Shatter as well as a Dragon Strike. Oftentimes we see the Dragon Strike get used to push people off the top platform, but it doesn't look like New Paradigm. That's where they want to hold. They're actually holding on the point itself. Interestingly, they're not trying to utilize that high ground.
Well, that's good news for Mega, right? Because they would like to fight on the ground anyway, and the good news as well for Mega additionally is that they've been consistently able to find Froppy or at least pressure him out. Dragon Strike now will attempt to do the same thing as Velvet pops through with that whole hog onto Rocket, and that's going to allow New Paradigm now to get some more space defensively. Look, Mega have already left this point. They've already given up this attempt. They're going to have to go in again soon.
Yeah, they've got another opportunity. He backed out pretty fast, actually, and with Hojin Ho on the Doomfist here, they're no longer onto the one healer comp, now they're onto the one tank comp. So New Paradigm, they seem to love sticking with
a new paradigm.
High damage.
I'll tell you that, Genome. They're certainly living up to the name right now, and can they live up to their win record in this series? Teto would certainly say yes. Nano boost coming up from Teto. But he's not going to find anything with that poor nano boost. Pooch's probably going to wish he kept that one alive. New Paradigm and Tero just cleaning up so many kills. Mega now have to seriously consider, do we stay on this composition? A couple members, including Pichu and Inzuna, going to make some changes. Pichu, a little bit indecisive about what he wants to do here. One thing that Mega will keep consistent is they will have this Grav Dragon combo imminently. The question is, can they get it in time for it to be effective?
Okay, so they've gone over to the Goats comp here, and I think the Brigida is a really important part of this. It can deal with the Doomfist, but they've no longer got this. Ho sees that and immediately switches to the Pharah. Really, really smart heads-up play here coming from New Paradigm.
Keeping themselves one step ahead of Mega right now is how they've been winning the series so far. You got to think for Mega, it's time for them to also put their best foot forward. Grav almost available. Ainz is going to open up with his own Dragon first. Now Apudo with the response, not even going to wait for the Grav, no time for Apudo to wait there. Mega are in a rush to try and get this camp over and done with. Grav still available, Mega somewhat split right now. Mushroom had to keep himself alive, not going to be the case. No res available either, so the pieces just falling apart for Mega Esports. They had the ultimates available, were not patient enough to put the combo together, and suddenly it all goes down.
Yeah, I think you do have to ask the question, did Apudo need to use that Graviton, need to use the Dragon Strike immediately when they had the Graviton Surge available? It felt like there were enough New Paradigm members grouped together that Mushroom could have got off a good grab there. Perhaps he was just scared of the defense matrix coming out from Tito. Either way, they missed their opportunity, and Mushroom has been holding onto this grab for quite some time now.
And there's certainly a good reason to be scared of Tito here. He's been eating up a lot of plays from Mega, but if you're too scared, well, you might as well give up right now, because Tito is certainly not going to go easy on you. And for Mega, they still have this grab, they still have opportunity, but they have to be able to land it properly. Here it comes into the indoor section. Nano Boost, or rather the Bio Nade did come through from Velvet, so not a lot going to be achieved from that Graviton Surge, unfortunately, for Mega. Now this is going to be another quick fight win for New Paradigm. Not even going to be phased. What Graviton Surge? Didn't even see it.
No, Mushroom. It's a classic trap you can fall into with the Xayah. You see a lot of enemy teammates and you're like, yes, this is going to be the sickest grab ever. But you're not thinking about your teammates. You're not thinking about where that follow-up damage comes from. And he puts it in a spot which gives New Paradigm so much just like environmental cover. They don't even need a shield. They barely need a defense matrix at that point, because they're shielded on walls on about 3 sides.
We haven't seen Mega come in with any massive ult advantages or anything like that just yet. Less than 20 seconds or another 30 seconds left to go. Apu doesn't care about ults just yet. He does have a blade available. Hojin Ho down means a 6v5, but they need more than a 6v5. Pichu's going to go down, making it a 5v5, and suddenly Iron's going to turn the table and slam it down on top of Mega right now. And Mega do not have opportunity to respawn. They do not have opportunity to get reinforcements in. It's all or nothing. If these members aren't going to cap, then Mega aren't going to cap at all. And New Paradigm want to shut the lid on Mega right now. And for Mega, it's lights out on this Volskaya attack. They will not cap B.
Oh, Mega. Putting their hand in, hoping to get a cookie out, but as you said, they swat it away. They say, no cookies for you, and they don't even manage to get a tick on that second point there. That's a poor effort from Mega, or perhaps just a good defensive effort from the other side. I mean, I don't want to downplay that, right? New Paradigm did do a very good job of defending, but Mega just not able to find their way in. I mean, they struggled on the first point even without the Mercy. The one time they got Froppy, you really felt like they could have gone in from there. New Paradigm just seemed to do an amazing job. Either the Hog healing himself would take a breather, or just finding health packs. Like, it was incredible.
You certainly have a lot of praise to give over to this New Paradigm side so far, and a lot less over to the Mega side. We're at the sort of point now where we're saying the small advantages and the small openings that we see Mega get have been quite valuable, and they have been finding some good distance and progression off of it. But it's also had its own myriad of problems. You've pointed this out already, but Froppy going down has been the key for Mega to get past at least that first point. And even so, some of the times they got Froppy down have not been enough for Mega to camp on through. And you got to think, what more do they need? What more does Mega require to get this victory? Because they've been handed opportunities, and yet that has not been enough.
Yeah, perhaps it's a matter of the shot calling, AVRL. If something like that happens, the call needs to go out that, okay, we can get trades in our favor here. Even if they lose a couple of people while they're chasing down the kills after that happens, they've got to remember, they've got the respawn advantage on that first point. There's so many things in their favor at that point. For them to back off completely and then just have a completely reset fight where it's 6v6s, I don't know. I don't think it's the right idea. But anyway, we'll go on to New Paradigm's attack now, and they're going to go with the Sombra. Well, this is, haven't seen a lot of it in this season of Contenders, but
yep.
Feels like New Paradigm are confident to bring it out here.
It is, and they want to party like it's 2017, because this is the last time that we did see a Sombra on a tank for Volskaya, or just in general for Volskaya. The hack hasn't even come through just yet, but two members already down, both tanks for Mega. Not going to find any luck here. Puro, again, the sole hero for this team, that is doing his darndest to try and get some return kills, but it just does not seem to be effective. New Paradigm waltz in through. I don't believe a single hack was even completed, and Eind doesn't quite care about that because the rest of New Paradigm are going to find this cap all too easily.
That was a very ugly defense there from Mega. Rather than biding their time and initiating when they had an advantage, they seem to just want to force the issue at the choke for no reason other than maybe they have the element of surprise. It doesn't work at all. New Paradigm just bursts through them. And, well, that's the first time that in a while now that Mega have actually got an opening kill onto the fight. So that's something. It allows them to just reset for a little bit. But if you look across at those ultimate charges, you know, New Paradigm there. They're, actually, maybe it's kind of even at the moment.
We will say right now that getting that initial pick on that defense for Mega now, for the time being at least, has stopped the momentum coming through from New Paradigm, which is allowing Mega to at least set up a defense. No excuses there. They have the positioning to get themselves into a position. First hack of the game going to come through now onto Apudo.
So he can't use that Dragon Blade. Well, I mean, he's almost about to get the Dragon Blade, but as soon as it wears off, the ultimate comes online anyway. So if he can find his way into the back line now, maybe onto the coalescing Moira, let's see what he can do with it.
So far, getting a bit of air and a little bit of Hojin Ho, and that little bit of Hojin Ho might just be enough to give Mega the edge they're looking for. Because Taiwan also got teammate Froppy on the other end. No ult available for Frost in time. He's no Primal Rage. The silver lining here is you can expect from New Paradigm this push, the primary goal was just to get the EMP available. Now they have that EMP available. If New Paradigm didn't win the push, they would be happy just with the ult charge.
So are Mega going to be expecting this? Obviously, Sombra's ult charge is a little bit slower than it used to be. It used to be extremely fast, but now the fact that her teammates can't pump it up by using their health packs means we see it a little less often. However, are Mega going to be grouped up? Are they going to read this and split up well so that not too many of them get EMP? We see Pichu hiding with that Transcendence. This is really smart. Obviously, he's reading this and just waiting to come in and save the rest of his team when they do get EMP'd as this ultimate comes out from Iron.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of saving required here. 5 ultimates available for New Paradigm, a lot less for Mega. In comes that Transcendence in the nick of time. And for Mega now, opportunity bought for them. They need to be able to find enough counter trades to make this work right now. Even trades will even work for them. They do have a major spawn advantage being the defenders onto B. Currently, post-Transcendence, Pichu's down, Taiwan's down. Mega are gonna have to try, put that nano onto Mushroom, see what he can do. The answer to that question is unfortunately not a lot at the time being. And I want to say as well, New Paradigm, if they cap 1/3, it's all over. And for Apudo, that Dragon Blade is all over. The last semblance of defense now teetering away for Mega Esports. No one can get there. Guess what? New Paradigm, 3-0, going to take up the series. One more map remains, but the only thing Mega have left to play for is their pride.
Well, you said they got a little bit of Ho before, and that's the one fight that Mega Esports managed to win. When you get a whole lot of Ho like we did in that last fight, it's all over Red Rover. Great effort there by New Paradigm. They've showed us an incredibly impressive ability to just engage and initiate on these opposition teams. As soon as they got into a fight there, they always seem to be getting 1 or 2 trades, and the speed at which they happen is just incredible.
And it's certainly so fast that I think the greatest example of that would be King's Row A attack, right? Like you kind of said it yourself, we barely got a sentence out, and Mega had dropped off the point already, and it's been a quick series. Speed has been the name of the game for this entire matchup, 3-0. in a pretty convincing fashion all around for New Paradigm. The only stop-up, the only roadblock they had to overcome was at initial Gardens where they had to face a 0-99% deficit, which they themselves then got anyway. So, I mean, that's about the only real showing from Mega was that first Gardens map. Everything else down the line has been all New Paradigm.
It's been incredibly one-sided since then, and New Paradigm, it doesn't matter what they're bringing out at this point. I mean, you could Sombra in this meta, really? I mean, that's certainly an impressive play. The fact that, and she got so much damage, right? And I guess that's one of the things that they have improved with nerfing her ultimate. They also tightened up her the RNG of her spray a little bit, and you saw so much damage coming out from Iron there when he was at close range with that.
And it's enough, right? It almost felt like, to be quite fair, with the amount of time remaining for New Paradigm and the way they've been playing the game, a number of strategies could have worked for them, Sombra being one of which, but they could have pulled out just about anything you can imagine that is within reason. We don't want to get too crazy here, but within reason, they could have maybe pulled out something else that would have been marginally acceptable and, you know, it would have been maybe competitive, but you'd expect New Paradigm to just be able to get that win. But let's also bring it back to the present and consider right now 3-0 absolutely does mean that New Paradigm has won, but the match itself is not over. So map 4 coming up online. Let's take a look at what it's going to be. And I got some news for you, Genome. For the first time this season, we are going to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Oh, all right. The interesting pick coming out there, obviously trying to change something up. They've got to change anything they can, really, at this point. New Paradigm have just had all the answers so far, or perhaps Mega have had none. And, you know, that could be the case, right? They've played some very interesting compositions. Perhaps Mega not feeling confident because they're going against things that they probably haven't scrimmed against all that much, and just might not have that much experience, and they're just struggling to come up with answers on the fly for these strange compositions.
The crazy thing is, Mega is such an experienced team overall. Like I've said previously, they've been together for a year now as the map has loaded up, so let's get ourselves into it. But Mega have been a professional team since OPC Season 1 of April 2017. 4 of the current members have been together since that period of time. 3 of them, I would say by now at least, might have to check the facts on that. At least 2, if not 3 members have represented Thailand twice now, at least once. I mean, by all accounts, it's a pretty stacked Thai roster. And Thailand's been pretty competitive in the past, 4th place in last season of Contenders. I know there are some logistic issues this season for a team like Mega playing out from Thailand against a team from Korea. Certainly pings will be an issue, but we're seeing a lot more problems out of them that, to be quite honest with you, are not very ping related. No,
I don't think you could blame the kind of performance we've seen here tonight from Mega on ping alone. Certainly not. And New Paradigm, they are going to be on the defense here first on Volskaya. Whoa. Orb, yeah, I don't know about that. It could be, but we'll see if there's a change coming out here for the defenders. Mega though, I mean, so you say we haven't seen it yet this season. So obviously, with the current meta, how it is, you know, snipers are very prevalent. Obviously, we're probably expecting to see a lot of them come out here on Watchpoint Gibraltar, especially on points 1 and 3, where you've got some nice long sight lines. On point 2, it can be a little bit harder, but you can lock off a lot of places with Dragon Strikes here. You don't necessarily need the grab to make use of the Dragon Strike on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
All right, so it's going to be Triple Tank out of Mega to start things out with.
He's actually saying.
And Velvet going to stay on to... Well, the thing about New Paradigm is they've been kind of bringing out these niche strategies, these different things that Mega are going to be somewhat unprepared for. The real question is, how do Mega adapt once they see this? Once they see the Torbjorn, once they see the turret, what are Mega going to do in response?
Okay, so he's providing armor from over here. The turret itself doesn't actually have the shield, right? There's no way Orissa's getting over there anytime soon. Ended and are thinking about switching maybe once they've you know, discovered the composition going on the defense here. They've so switching over to the Tracer. Obviously, it's not going to be easy to get a bomb onto that turret from over there. Either way, it's going to catch them by surprise when they come out of Carroll.
What you can respect here is that Internet does believe it's going to be quite difficult to get a snipe on when most of the New Paradigm team is hiding behind Frost's protective barrier right there. So with a good flank, maybe Internet picks up Velvet. That would be a beginning for Mega to continue this push, because currently they're getting to the sort of stage where the turret does come into effect. Mega can't really afford to stay on top of the card, and here comes that first dive in.
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit of a wave height. Titawat just wants to remind New Paradigm that he's still into the game. Opponent takes down the turret, so that's one half of Velvet's basic hero gone. I would say the card is going to be pushed through. You don't want to be New Paradigm and giving up this cap already, though. They actually have to jump onto the cap itself, and the objective pressure from Mega is actually going to give them the victory here on this first point.
Yeah, so they really thought ahead about this. You know, you saw how long it took NZNR to go all the way around to be able to provide that side pressure, and there was only 2 angles which you could do that from to get around that Orisa shield, and it seemed that was just enough that, you know, we saw Titawat get halted out. It was actually quite a nice halt there coming out from Frost to deny him the high ground, but as you said, they stay on the objective long enough that the Torp turret isn't really an issue.
Torp turret got taken down so quickly by Titawat, or well, not Titawat, by Apudo, so yeah, the issue was addressed, and now Mega with some decent momentum, the snowball will push through, ults coming online, Valkyrie pop into now with the pulse bomb as well, finds nothing, but nothing so far isn't too bad because Apudo does get Froppy, and right now, you'd like to have seen the Transcendence come out of Pichu, you'd like to see him raised back up because of that, and you'd also like to see if Mega can actually continue this push, collect these kills, and get that cap to the end of B.
Yeah, they're doing a decent job so far. Frost and Iron both down as they continue to just take down New Paradigm one by one. They're just falling like flies here, and unfortunately they're not doing it as a troop. So we are seeing Frost come back in, but he's just going to get forced out, and wow, this hangar phase has gone so quickly from Mega. They're going to be super happy with this.
They certainly are, and they're going to be happier still because they realize they have a bunch of ultimates available. This time, Pichu's okay to not use the Transcendence. The team had probably just won the fight anyway. So for Mega, got to be reasonably pleased with how this B point has been going for them. In fact, how the entire map offensively has been going for them. Still have so many ults to play with. New Paradigm have been kind of missing so far here. I believe they may have just accepted they won 3-0 and then fell asleep on Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, well, obviously you don't have to use ults if the team is coming at you one by one, right? That's why they held on to so many throughout that hangar phase. And the other thing to note, of course, is that Froppy was on the Anna, so they didn't have the resurrection. Any mistakes like that were going to stay the way they were. A nice self-destruct going out through here isn't going to catch anyone around the corner, though.
Not nice enough, unfortunately, and for New Paradigm, I'm not going to have a chance to use that Dragon Blade. Was on pretty low HP for the majority of that fight. Merit's gone over to a Brigida to try and counter out Apudo's aggressive dive so far. Aggressive, but Apudo's not going to have any bar of that from Mega. The card's barely stopped up. It is paused for the time being, but kills slowly but surely. Still, I would say, in the favor of Mega until now. This is where it gets bad.
Yeah, so they have held on. They've withstood that barrage of ultimates that came out of Mega there, and as a result, they're going to be able to reset onto this high ground here. We see Iron getting ready, perhaps for a sneaky play on the Dragon Blade from behind. Frost and Tito, they're ready to just lock down that cart. They are going to have to deal with the stuns coming out of NZNR now. The triple heals, they don't go for the Lucio in this point. They still want that Mercy, especially because Rocket's got the Valkyrie, which he's going to bring out.
Valkyrie is going to be good for the time being. Not good enough to save NZNR's life, and certainly not to save Mushroom's life either. Merit's the only counter trade, and Apudo with only 1 kill is probably not going to be enough for Mega to continue this push. Titawat, the Earth Shatter, not going to happen today. Push was probably over by then. You'd say for Mega, though, because they forced out the Transcendence from Velvet, that would be why Apudo didn't get any kills, but also they'd be quite happy to at least get that ultimate out to give way for this next push. Mega now going to go for full goats, and guess what? Iron has read it.
Yeah, Merit popping the rally proactively there just to make sure that there's a lot of armor on the side of New Paradigm, and Iron, as you said, switching over to that Pharaoh, which is just, look at this. I mean, it's such a great counter to the comp Mega have currently.
And he's got armor to play with as well. 247 HP is what he did have for the time being. Already nearly onto a barrage. He just swapped onto this Pharah, and for Mega, the sustain is good, but how long can it sustain? Because now the barrage does come through. Iron is not going to go down. 1 kill's enough. Apudo went down as well, which means for Mega, their front line has been shattered. And now their back line, that tasty, tasty back line, will be all ready to be gobbled up by New Paradigm, winning that team fight, continuing this defense, and the recovery seems to be pretty good.
Iron did an amazing job to build up the barrage so quickly there and be in a position to use it as soon as it came online as well. Froppy even, I think he actually body blocked for Iron while he was in barrage, locked in place. So it was interesting to see that, you know, you'd expect that out of one of your main tanks, not necessarily your healer. But here we go, Mushrooms are looking for an opportunity to use this Graviton Surge. Hopefully he can find one better than what he did on Volskaya.
Well, there's 3 in there, but there's also a Transcendence with a Valkyrie for heals, so it's not going to be enough damage from Mega to fire through against all of that healing. Merit goes down, so does Ide, and this is where opportunity does begin for Mega. Can Mega continue pushing on through? More kills coming their way. Things are looking fantastic now. The weather forecast looks good for Mega as they're about to get into the final section of Watchpoint Gibraltar Sea, and with so many members alive, you'd think they could probably spawn camp too.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Blue skies and blue bastions is what the weather reporter says here for Mega as they push in to try and get the 3rd points. 50 seconds left, and they're going to have to deal with a rally, a primal rage, and a self-destruct. So much displacement coming out of New Paradigm here.
Displace is exactly how Mega feel currently. There is going to be a grab available, but Mushroom probably not going to use it here. Would be wise to maintain it. A valiant defense coming up from New Paradigm, utilizing the Bastion as a bit of an afterthought. Everyone else goes in, everyone on Mega forgets about Iron. You don't want that to happen. 20 seconds now remaining. Mega have one last shot.
20 seconds, and it's going to be a very, very desperate attempt here to get onto the payload. Who will it be? Will it be NZ over the top with the Pharah? Perhaps Rocket can wall ride his way, Tony Hawk style, onto that payload. One way or another, they're going to have to deal with a high ground Bastion.
That's going to be difficult. The grab has now come through, but we haven't seen Iron fall over just yet. In fact, he gets himself 2 kills. There's probably 2 more kills than they're going to be happy to deal with. Earthshatter collects Frost, but you need more than that. Frost is only one guy who does get resurrected. The few members now remaining for Mega, unfortunately, going to get blown up by Iron's configuration tank cannon. Apudo, once again, trying to be the hero here. The hero of Thailand will be silenced, at least for this push.
That was a decent push though, AVRL. At least they've managed to almost make it up to the 3rd point there, and you've got to credit that largely to, well, a failed, yet another odd composition coming out of New Paradigm, but also that hangar phase, which typically is one of the hardest, I'm going to say it's the hardest in Watchpoint Gibraltar, right? Because once you get locked behind those tiny little doorways that allow you into the point, it can be very tough to get back in, but they have a flawless run through that, which just sets them up really well for the 3rd point. They don't manage to get there, sadly, but this is probably the closest they've looked since map 1 here to being able to take anything away from New Paradigm.
I think what you can really give Mega here in terms of credit is absolutely they got good distance, but also now they've given themselves the opportunity, you'd say, to be able to get a full hold on A or B. They've kind of allowed some buffer space to have opportunity to play on these different sections of the map. If they fail A, they have some room on B to play with. If they fail that, they have some room on C to play with. This could have also just been a full hold on A, like we saw in King's Row. That would be disastrous for Mega. This would probably be a 4-0, but now Mega do have the opportunity to actually get this map victory.
Yep, they've given themselves the best opportunity that they could. Considering how the rest of the series has gone, I'm sure they're going to be happy with this for the moment. Now, their setup on their defense is going to be a Widowmaker and a Genji. Okay, so they're probably going to keep the Widowmaker, you know, NZNL will probably stop just trying to get the first couple of pick or 2, and then fall all the way back up to the cart's final resting place at point 1. The rest of the team, it's their job to stall the cart out and make sure they can buy a bit of space and a bit of time for the Widowmaker to weave his magic.
So Mega want to play quick here. They want to play for a dive. Widowmaker with a Genji composition, which we've seen a lot out of the Korean teams. Speaking of fast, though, Iron's not wasting any time.
I mean, that's a shocking start to the fight, right? To lose your res, at least, so quickly. An amazing job by Iron to do so much damage in such a short period of time. And it's just completely ruined their defensive positioning now.
It certainly has. If you look at where New Paradigm are, they've already pushed quite far up. Mega nowhere to be seen except for Mushroom. And now Teeterwhat kind of just appearing down the bottom, but the cart does need to be stopped eventually. Before they can even get to the cart, they have to deal with this high ground from New Paradigm.
So Iron throwing out all his abilities. That's the best part about playing Doomfist. They come back online so often, but a good shot from NZNR will shut him down, and another couple will eliminate the support line, and all of a sudden, Mega are looking good here on the first point.
Cart does get a lot of distance, so I've got to be careful right now not to let this one pass over. And Apuda wants to have a bit of an insurance policy, probably unneeded from the Blade, but
yeah.
I mean, hindsight 2020, right? He probably now wishes he didn't have to use it. And for Mega Esports, they need advantages. They need the tools to be able to continue the defense because the cart is imminently at the end.
It felt like Apudo just perhaps didn't know when the respawns were coming in for New Paradigm, so as you say, it was a bit of an insurance policy. He thought better safe than sorry, but it could come back to haunt him in this next fight. When you look at the ultimates that are online, we've got Froppy, he's got that Valkyrie ready to go, and a couple of others. The tank ultimate's now online for New Paradigm.
There's a lot of fighting happening, but who's on the card? I have to wonder because it is being pushed through. Have Mega forgotten about this? They just managed to get back in time, which is going to rescue things, and gotta have to credit Pichu and Rocket for that, but while that's happening, Mega have their entire team split between trying to dive and trying to defend the cart, and New Paradigm have all but taken advantage of that. Now gotta clean up the remaining members who did try and stall that cart up, and I want to note as well, double support ultimates used to try and stop the cart, and the cart will continue. Mega, I do not believe will be able to hold on to this. Teeterwhat, though, might have something different to say.
Yeah, he's trying to keep them alive, keep them in this fight, just buy a little bit of time for his friends to come back in, but Iron has managed to get his Dragon Blade up. Apudo with his second Dragon Blade, oh no, he goes down to the self-destruct, and the rest of his teammates follow shortly after. And the worst part, AVRL, I'll tell you, it's not even Apudo losing the Dragon Blade here, it's how late they died in that fight, because now they can't get that defense set up. On Hangar Phase, we talked about how strong it is if you can really get it rolling here, but now they're going to be gate-kept as Frost is looking to jump on them as soon as they come through that door.
And this is where Mega really need to find some time because they had such a fast Hangar Phase. They want to make sure that New Paradigm do not, but New Paradigm has some other ideas. Apudo does get himself one kill, but Iron's the one with the Blade. And with the Blade in hand is going to be allow the rest of New Paradigm to find the rest of Mega, and find they do. This is not a happy game of hide and seek. If you're Mega right now, the cart is going to momentarily continue. After a full wipe, all of Mega will go down.
Well, the first point turnaround was good by Mega. It felt like they were finally making some headway, but now New Paradigm, it's all looking their way at the moment. A couple of ultimates there. We've seen the Pulse Bombs ready. They've still got that Primal Rage, so Frost can sit at that door all day and batter people around, and also Tito can just push them straight off the cart now that it's only 3 meters away.
The thing for Mega to consider right now is that their likelihood of winning this fight is very small, but what they can do is force a lot of ultimates out from New Paradigm. The Primal Rage already being used by Frost over there. Can they get the Pulse Bomb as well? What they are able to achieve here is a lot of ultimate advantage going into that next defense. This B push has been very successful for New Paradigm, but Mega, much like New Paradigm earlier, can look to recover and stabilize now in the final section of Gibraltar.
Yeah, despite how many they might have been able to elicit from New Paradigm, AVRL, they've still got 3 in the bank though. We've still got the Dragon Blade, we've still got that Pulse Bomb, and now they have the, they're about to come up with double support ultimates actually, both teams. So this next fight could be a case of, you know, how many can you get out of the other team, or how quickly can you do it?
Oh, that's it's going to be an anime battle that Apudo is going to be able to win against Iron. And on the other side as well, Mushroom, the self-destruct onto Frost. No tanks, no DPS, no more push for New Paradigm. That's going to put a lid onto it very quickly. So the beginning of a possible stabilization here from Mega is certainly in the works.
Yeah, but a good switch from Iron. Once again, this meta seems to be so much about hero switching and just reading the gaps in the opposition's composition. They see that they don't have any hit scans. It's going to be very tough for them to deal with the Pharaoh, so Iron swaps straight onto that. It could come down to Pichu, but NZNR now on the Widowmaker, actually, so he will have an opportunity to take the Pharah out of the sky.
And Mega need a lot of fight wins here. They need to stabilize even more so than they already have. 2 minutes and 33 seconds means Mega has to win like 3 or 4 maybe fights before we really start to see them potentially win this. And this is not going to be an easy one to win. Double Transcendence used. Both teams want to commit hard in, and Merritt has the flank available. Peacher's got to be very considerate about his own life. That being said, Frost going down, gets resurrected back up. Apudo not going to be as lucky. Mega do find some very even trades. While we're on the C point, Mega do also have a spawn advantage that can reinforce so much quicker, and they're going to need any advantage they can get. The cart has not been stopped, and Mega need to stop it right now.
Apudo bringing out the Dragon Blade once again. He finds 2 with it. It's both of the healers, and then he manages to get Baby Diva at the end of those 3 kills. Sure, he gets taken down, but he's done his job. Now up to NZNR to do the last bit of damage and stall New Paradigm out. They're getting so close to finishing the map here. NZNR getting battered this way and that by Ironed on the Doomfist, and they've even brought out the Sombra here. I guess that was just a quick move by Apudo, trying to utilize that movement speed to make sure that his team had some extra support, as we see going back to swap now that the situation has stabilized a little bit more, and New Paradigm have got 1 minute and 17 seconds left. Maybe 2 good pushes if they're lucky.
Yeah, the tension is still rising for this push right now, and certainly for that defense. Cart is so close enough that if New Paradigm can win one convincing fight, then continue to kind of spawn camp Mega from coming back out, that should be a cap, and any cap will be more than what Mega can handle. They need to look for a map win, and they'll only get that if they can win another 2 fights at least here. Transcendence being popped once again by both Zen, Yatas, and Mega are holding on tight, looking for that kill. Gets one against Merritt, loses Tita Watt, so things turning slightly ugly right now. Self-destruct is not going to be too good coming from one side, but on the other end, what do we get? Tito gets somebody. Mega Esports still attempting to come out through. Primal Rage, can it be enough? Tito Watt is not going to be able to survive, and this is now turning all bad all day for Mega. Unfortunately, New Paradigm have so many members, but they're going to be very pleased with this result. Starting to look like a 4-0. I don't know if Mega can do this anymore.
10 seconds left to AVRL. It's Tita Watt on the point here. He's got the Discord Orb on him, taking more damage than he would like to, as well as Mushroom coming back in on the Diva. They've got a couple of last-minute switches here. Rocket is on the Mei, trying to just stall things out, but even the Cryo Freeze will not stop him from losing 0-4 to New Paradigm.
Not the day for Mega, sadly, but the day is there for New Paradigm, and they're going to be quite pleased with that end result. A 4-0 clean sweep of Mega Esports, who are yet to pick up their first match win of Season 2 of Contenders. Yet to pick up more than 1 map win this season as well. There's still so much work ahead of this Mega squad, but for New Paradigm, suddenly the road looks that much clearer. The light at the end of the tunnel now starting to sort of make its way in, and for New Paradigm, they're certainly walking towards it.
Well, they looked good, didn't they? I mean, that's certainly the icing on the cake for them. They look dominant. It feels like even though they've dropped a couple of maps, a couple of series already this season, that when they come up against those, the top 4 currently in Group A, they might have a chance going forward. For Mega, unfortunately, I think that may as well be the end of their run in Season 2 of Contenders Pacific. It really feels like they just can't get out of the doldrums that they're in right now.
Well, certainly, with the 2 weeks remaining now, the best score they can sort of muster would be a 2-3, assuming they win the next 2 games. And if by some chance you have teams like, say, New Paradigm that then go on to lose their next 2 games, you would still see Mega get the better of New Paradigm. But the real question is, can Mega get a good enough scoreline even with 2 wins in the next 2 weeks to escape relegation? Because that's the part that looks really tricky. The other 4 teams, as we discussed earlier tonight, are at 2-1. They're all tied up. They're all positive. They haven't lost more than they've won. They've won 2 games to 1 loss. So this group has shapen up to be, reasonably set in stone. And I mean, It's not 100% over, but certainly Mega are not any closer to escaping the bottom section of Group A than they were before.
I think they've passed the event horizon of Zaya's Graviton Surge there. They are not coming back in. They are shut out. That's it. They're getting sucked into right into the middle, and that's it for them, unfortunately. I hazard a guess at
Well,
the other 4 at the top are looking pretty good, though.
Let's turn this mood right around, because coming up next we have the match of the week. Cyclops Athlete Gaming taking on Hong Kong Attitude. The top 2 teams in Group B, both tied for first place. Only one team can truly be number 1. Who's it going to be? Come back from the break and find out. We'll see you soon.